We still have technology problems, I understand, with those online. So what I'm proposing to do, I think it's vital that the committee has the opportunity to question KPMG on their reports. And so I think we'll modify the resolution to receive the report and leave the item to lie on the table until the next meeting, get KPMG back, because I think that's of fundamental importance. So if the committee's happy with that way forward with this item, can I have a mover and seconder for the modified? Thank you, Warren. Thank you, Paul. All those in favour say aye. Against, carried. Thank you very much. Which brings us to item 7.6, annual leave management, wellbeing, health and safety indicators.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'll take the report as read and take you to a few of the key highlights from it. Moving through to the annual leave management section, you'll see there in point 13, the statistics have been going the wrong way as far as our annual leave management goes. We got up to 51 and over 240 and 12, 280 and 1 in 320 hours. At that point, Chris picked this up again with the executive to manage it. And this data is back obviously in September. And I'm pleased to report that there's a significant improvement in the numbers. So as of October, we've got down to 33 under 240, 6 under 280, and we have none under 320. So there's been a concerted effort there from the executive to bring those numbers down using a number of aspects available to them. So that's a good news story. I wanted just to refer you to point 18 too, because there's a piece stands out there. Again, this is back in September, so a number of people in the room will already be across it. But there's an illness report there that you'll see recorded, which is an unusual thing for us. And it was just to highlight that that had happened during a working day. One of the staff had some heart palpitations and was taken off and had an ECG and was cared for and has recovered. So just wanted to note that. And again, we've kind of talked through the EAP a number of times in this forum, and it was really to point you again to that Rongoa Māori support services that we've implemented across the organisation. That has been a real success for us, and it is the only time in my career where I've actually had staff come up to me personally and saying, "Thank you very much, we really value this." I've never had that for EAP in any other organisation, so that has been really well received, and people are taking that up that I've never engaged with EAP services in the past. So those are the key points to highlight. Happy to take any questions.
Chris.
Yeah. Thanks, Graham. Stu, thanks for your report. Hey, just reflecting on the annual leave, quite honest, a 3-month snapshot ending at the end of September, I don't really think is relevant. We know that people try to take their holidays over the Christmas period if they can. And I wouldn't be beating myself up because of the trend over 240 days at the end of September. So, yeah, from my point of view, the 5-year trend is more important than the last 3 months. So.
Yep.
So otherwise, yeah, great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Stuart, the 15% uptake on the EAP is at the top end of the range that you say EAP recommend on page 147. So WRC is at the top end of that range. The range is at sort of people that use EAP. Is the usage evenly distributed over that band, or is it heavily weighted to the 15 end of the continuum, or is that, do they have any ways of breaking it down like by local government councils, or are these just all their customers
Yeah, this is all their customers nationally, and that's their recommended range. That's 7 to 15%. We actually, in the past month, have clicked over to 16%.
Yes.
But that is as a result of that Rongoa Mari service that's been offered up. And I guess the success that has been, staff are talking about that, and we're seeing utilization go up there. So I guess I'm interested in what the trend looks like over the coming sort of 3-4 months, and linking in with the EAP to understand, is that affecting their other customers as well, that kind of have taken up that offering, because not everybody will have implemented that offering. So that'll be of interest, I guess, in the coming months. But it's a good point.
Also on page 145, the sick leave benchmark. What is that benchmark? Is it other councils or what?
Again, that's a national benchmark that's set for us.
By who?
That's a good question. I guess Marie could possibly strategic pay set that for us. And we're in a more positive position than when this report was written currently as well in that space, which is good. Yeah. Obviously, we're through the cold and flu season, thankfully.
Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chair. Just a follow-up, Stu, thanks. Just following on from what Graham was saying, I will be interested in seeing if there's any correlation between the increase in our EAP uptake and the reduction in our sick leave.
Yep, I can.
That will be the guide to me whether it works or not. Yes, I.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Warren.
Yeah, again with the EAP uptake and that sort of thing. Obviously, that's staff with issues, and and you do mention the anxieties around it, and 72% is personal. Is there any information that falls out of that as to if the leading items that are causing that anxiety? So, is it cost of living? Is it sort of where I'm heading with the question? Basically, do we get any sort of infometrics back on what those issues might be causing the anxiety?
Unfortunately not. I have the same questions as you around that, and I've talked to them to see if we can get a deeper dive, but we can only get that high level
overview of it.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to understand what's driving that.
Because there are after things that could be.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. But if there was any one thing trending, that's
right.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
We have another question from Jennifer.
Just a comment from Jennifer. I have regarding annual leave management is that I'd expect executive team members to lead from the top by having leave booked when over 300 hours. Great to see all other roles on the list having leave booked in that category.
Thank you for that. And the executive have taken that up, and they're all now below that, which is great.
There are no more questions. Can we have a mover and seconder to receive the report, please? Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Warren. All those in favour say aye. Against? Carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We now move on to the policy review schedule update.
Good morning again. So the policy review schedule was just to provide an update on policies that were due for review since the last committee meeting. There was no policies that required the Risk and Assurance Committee approval. The next one you'll see is due at the next meeting in March, which is legislative compliance. There is a schedule included which shows the update on the policies and the approval status. I'll take it as read, but let me know if you have any questions.
Warren?
Yeah, thanks, Graham. Just a question around the vision, the eye care one. We've noticed in a couple of Stu's latest reports that there's been eye strain and that sort of thing. So is that a policy we actually have in council? Is it? Obviously, it's got a number there beside it.
Yeah, it is. And the update there is it's being reviewed and it's due to ELT by the end of this year. So there'll be an update at the next meeting.
Thank you.
So through the chair, in terms of the scope of that policy, it provides for regular eye exams for people who are needing to use computers regularly as part of their job. And it also provides if deterioration in eyesight can be linked with occupational issues, then there's a contribution to corrective lenses through that policy.
Okay. Oh, so it's nothing to do with
So-
light level and lumens and stuff in work areas and around that side?
No, it's not. There is, I guess, from a health and safety perspective, work that we have done in terms of monitoring light in the building. And we have done things recently, such as introducing dimmer light areas for those that are feeling light sensitive to be able to work in. So there's a few of those dotted through the organisation. But I think generally the testing or monitoring of light levels that we've done has said they are appropriate for this type of environment. But we do provide some softer light areas for those that are particularly light sensitive.
So can I get my eyes tested through this process?
I don't think you're an employee.
I'm not sure how the tax department views me actually, but I pay them a fair bit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We all do. No more questions? Can we have a mover and seconder to receive this report, please? Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Warren. All those in favour say aye. Against, carried. Thank you very much. Feedback and complaints.
Kia ora anō, councillors. I'll take the report as read. It's a annual report that the committee receives on an annual basis. It's for the financial year just finished, or finished in June of this year, and is broken into two main components, being public transport and our general other activities we undertake. I guess of note is that from the public transport system that there was a number of complaints that appear to be associated with a sort of seasonal events around changes in the, as I can see by the in the information itself, that there was just problems of timetables and so forth. There's a number of complaints associated with driver attitude and or perception of driver attitude and some staff related issues. But in talking with the director responsible for public transport, these complaints and issues all get dealt with on an individual basis via the contractor, and it's part of the contractual relationship we have with the provider to deliver those services. They are supported where necessary with closed circuit TV reviews and so forth. So even though it does, and when you see it from a graphical perspective, it looks quite significant, the issues are managed really well. And obviously the volume of people using public transport in our area, the volume of complaints is relatively commensurate with the number of people who are going through the service. It also records compliments as well as complaints, and I think those are important to take into account as well. And there's some verbatims recorded in the report about the type of things that people are happy about. One other thing that's not reported through this report is that we do get a lot more feedback from our customers that is reported through the Finance and Services Committee through our dashboard Te Ara Tupu, and that's using the NPS method of reporting. So the volumes there are far, not so much greater, but what it's showing is a lot more granular detail about what people are telling us and the service that they're receiving. And we use that it's a pretty much a real-time reporting mechanism, whereas this is based on how people making the effort to come and file a report through the system, which is important and is a really valid mechanism to capture this information. But I just wanted to refer to the NPS information. And like I say, it comes through finance and services. It's a far more actionable information because we receive it in real time, and we think it has a real benefit to improving our services. We're also going to be now including that information from the regional transport section. Previously, it hadn't been reported into the NPS system, but we'll now be reporting it through there as well, starting pretty much from this month. So that content isn't in the report, but I thought it was important to refer to it. This stuff is important, but it's not real-time actionable information, which is what I think we're really seeking here. Happy to take questions on any of the information that's in front of you.
We have another question from Jennifer.
Just a comment from Councillor Nicol. I love the complaints and compliments report. Glad to hear RTC and Finance and Services sees this information in more real time and detail.
Neville, I've got a question. Very interesting to see the number of complaints, but I place a lot of reliance on trends and comparisons with other similar organisations, and I wondered whether we could do something about presenting that information, because it's just 1725 complaints. Without context, it really means very little to me anyway. So I also think trends are very important. So do you have any feeling for how WRC, I don't want to put you on the spot, but how you
I do. Yes, and look, I do agree with you that we can look at prior year reports and see how those trends can stack up against what's happened in the years since we've been reporting this way. In terms of comparison with other sectors, I think public transport, you could start to do some comparisons with other regional councils who manage public transport services and see what their results look like. I don't think we do that, but it is something that we should embark upon. We can have a crack at doing it for the next time around. Unfortunately, this is an annual report, and for looking backwards is interesting, but it's not as good as being able to see what's happening in real time and being able to actually take action against what's happening, which is why I referred to the NPS information. It gives us more of a real-time view of how customers are feeling in general, and it's more proactive. And we can see the individual verbatim comments that come through for each one of those comments, and we can see the trends over time as well. I think it's probably useful, even though we do report that information through Finance and Services, that we supplement this report with that information in the future.
Thanks, Graham. Yeah, Neville, just on that page 161, what's the scale on the left-hand side? It's just not readable either on the report or in the paper version. And while you're trying to find that, so do compliments and criticisms that come back to the contractor of our public service, are they included in this, or is this just compliments and complaints that we get directly?
Yeah, these are the ones we receive directly, and they are obviously reported straight back to the contractor delivering that particular public transport services. And
so that's a timely process that goes back to them quite
yes,
quickly.
it does, as we receive them. Yes. In respect to that number,
it's probably not overcritical, noting Graham's point too. Well, it's more trends, but it's just, if it was 1 to 100 up that side, it might be a little bit.
I'll check in with the
10.
Report author, if that's okay, through the chair. Candy Downs is online. She's the author of the report, and hopefully, she won't be able to respond. Sorry. But Candy may be able to, if she's listening, to just put a note into the chat as to what the measures equate to on the left-hand side of the graph on page 161, Candy. because they've been cut off the report itself. I don't know if she's got that or not, but
Yeah. And so, yeah, just going forward too, obviously we had an audited report the other day and it's great. So it's good to, I think, publicise the good stuff that's coming out of public transport and that too, you know,
Yes.
rather than just any negative stuff. So it'd be good to see that sort of info get out there in the public. Thank you.
And we have a comment from Jennifer.
Really support evolving and maturing this information with trends and comparisons benchmarks as Chair Graham suggests.
Thank you.
we will include that in the next report.
Thank you, Neville. If there are no more questions, can we have a mover and seconder to receive this report, please? Thank you, Pamela. Chris seconding. All those in favour say aye. Against? Carried. Thank you very much.
Sorry, can we just, sorry, Mr. Chair, can we just note that as an action point about ensuring that when this comes to it, this report comes to us in the future, that there is some reference to trends,
and trends.
particularly within our own organization, to have it standalone is interesting, though not as informative as we would hope.
No.
And can I just add to that, if we are going to use external organisations, that it be done on a population basis, so it's per 100,000 population or per 10,000 population, so there is a meaningful measure.
They need to be comparable
Yes, correct.
organisations. I agree with you, Chris. You know, the worst thing we could do is just round up any council's data to compare it with. They've got to be meaningful, because if you can't identify the causes of differences, you know, again, we're not getting information out of it. Yep. No, point well made. Thank you.
So through the chair, I don't think Candy's been able to find that document yet, but I've actually been able to see the full version of it. The scale on the left-hand side is from 0 up to 350, so in 50 increments. So it's absolute numbers.
So we're into. Right, this now moves us to the PX section of the agenda, and we need a mover and seconder. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Pamela, to move us into public excluded. All those in favour say aye. Against? Carried. Thank you. We are now in PX, and just let us know when you're ready to go.